Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I am excited to take you to Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, Disney's brand new private destination in the Bahamas. This is our first time on the island. It did just premiere in summer of 2024. It's got unbelievably beautiful beaches, some fun splash pads for the kiddos, and lots of fun entertainment on the island. I've sailed several times to the other destination that Disney is famous for, Castaway Cay. It is absolutely an incredible day as well. This one, very, very different. Food is different, and the overall vibe of the island is different, so I'm going to try and share that with you during this tour. So thanks a lot for joining along. Let's go check out Disney's Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. Now, a lot of the hyperplaners out there are trying to find the right side of the ship to book their cabins on so they have a great view of the private island. Castaway Cay is very predictable in that way. Unfortunately, here at Lookout Cay, it is completely random, it seems, at least here at the beginning of the voyages to the island. So I lucked out with our ocean view cabin, and we had a great view of the dock. We were on a lower deck, but it is a very long walk to the actual island itself. It's really not that bad in the morning, about a 15-minute walk, but in the heat of the afternoon, it definitely felt a lot hotter and a lot longer. But absolutely worth the walk because it is absolutely beautiful once you arrive here on the island. If you do need some help, there are mobility carts to help you get to the trams or all the way to the other side of the island. You'll see the harbor that you just saw. That's for all of the off-island excursions that they have here. And then you're going to see Mabrika Cove, which is one area for private cabanas, and that area is exclusive just for those cabanas, so they have a great view of the ship and not really a long journey to where I think most of the fun is here at Lookout Cay. So that's, I think, more of a drawback than anything. I think for me, I like to be able to use my cabana, but then maybe jump out and explore the rest of the island since you only have one time here on most voyages. But to each their own. Some people, you're paying a lot for a cabana and you want to just chill out. So you can just hang in that cabana all day and not have a long journey over to the other side of the island. So after a long walk, they greeted us with cool towels, which was absolutely great. And we walk through the brand new signage here, Lookout Cay, and make our way over to what's basically a small transportation hub. Get yourself oriented for the rest of your day. You can check in for your off-island beach activities over there to the left. Then you're going to have Mangroves, which is a specialty coffee stand. You're going to have coffee drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, so that's something to check out if you're into that sort of thing. Then a small little merchandise stand as you make your way over to the tram stop. It's a really short walk over to the tram stop from that area, and I loved how the trams were all decorated in bright colors. This is kind of the theme of the island. It was really bringing all the Bahamian culture to you. I feel like Castaway Cay has an awesome Disney-filled story, but not very Bahamian. It's all very beautiful, but this is definitely like, hey, you're visiting the Bahamas, let's teach you a little bit about the culture, which I really love. And that really starts with the narration on the trams that take you over to the other side of the island. So some of the creatures that the Imagineers have created for the island, there's a couple of them spread out throughout the nature trail that you can meet. Their little metal statues. But they're local island animals, and they're kind of describing a cute little story and trying to teach you a few things about the island that you're visiting. Now, one thing to know is that unlike Castaway Cay, Lookout Cay is not a private island per se. It's a private Disney-designed destination on the island of Eleuthra. Effectively, this doesn't make a big difference to me. This area felt incredibly private, honestly even more private than Castaway Cay at some points with how long and beautiful these beaches are here. Entirely worth it. But once you get off that tram, you're going to have a big hub of activity. You can grab your beach towels right there so you don't have to lug them all the way from the other stop, which is really nice. But right here is going to be guest services, so you can handle anything you need to there. And then next door is Disney Things, which is the main shop on the island. It's going to have all of your logo merchandise, everything Disney branded. You can find that in here, so we'll check that out. Nearby is Rocky Point Bicycle Rentals, but this is not quite open yet at the time of my visit. They're still working on the bike path. But nearby are some really cool Junkanoo themed Disney crossovers. Great for photo ops. They have some Disney photographers there helping you out as well. The Treasures of Eleuthra is going to be a more local shop, so you're going to have more handcrafted, sometimes Disney-themed items. So that's going to be a more special souvenir, I think. Plaits and Pleats, it's where you can get your hair braiding done. And right behind the guest services building is going to be the first aid station, so if you stub your toe or need some medical attention, this is where you'll find it. And right next to that is the Giving Tree, which is a nice little cultural moment here with some cool hanging Disney-themed ornaments. And there's plenty of maps around here now to help you understand where you should go on the island. So we're going to start our tour south to north, walking on this cool pavement that is themed because there's some sea glass as well as seashells embedded in to the pavement there, which I just love. Always look down at Disney, you never know what's going to be themed on the pavement. The first thing we wanted to check out is Sebastian's Cove, so this is going to be exclusive to the kiddos in the group, though they do have some small open house windows that we were able to take advantage of and take a look. So this is going to be open for the club, so you can actually drop off your kids here and let them have their fun while you maybe go enjoy the adults only area. It's themed to the Little Mermaid, especially the Under the Sea sequence. So the splash pad is under shade, and you got Sebastian and the whole orchestra under the sea. It's really, really cool. I like that they brought in the Disney characters here to the island. We left that and the Play Pavilion, which is basically across the way. They were doing some shaded games with some of the Disney characters. So this will happen throughout the day, so check your navigators or your app and make sure you don't miss that because it's really fun and it's wasn't busy as you can see because we were one of the first off the ship. So great time to get some FaceTime with the characters here. There are raised boardwalks throughout Lookout Cay. So this is basically the southernmost point at which these boardwalks run. And we're going to go check out what is the nature trail, which I thought was a really nice feature of this island. So Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. The nature trail leads you to Lighthouse Point. So you actually go see the original lighthouse that was here well before Disney ever leased this land. So we're going to check that out after a quick little preview of what the ocean looks like, which is definitely the star of the show here at Lookout Cay. We definitely lucked out with the weather on our day. It was a little breezy, definitely a little hot, but absolutely sunny, and just let that blue ocean really shine. It's absolutely incredible what they were able to build here, and I think that over time that this destination is really just going to become more and more popular. This is the start of the nature trail. I'm not sure if they're going to end up paving this or not. We're here about month 3 to 4 into operating the destination, and they keep adding more and more things. But it's fine as a dirt path now. They definitely have some planters set up for more plant life to plant here and make things a little bit more interesting. But there is some cool signage as you walk along the path explaining a little bit of the flora and fauna here on Eleuthra. So that's really helpful. I think it's really fun just to bring that in. They have QR codes as well that you can use to learn a little bit more than what the signs are showing you. And here's one of those characters that they designed for the island itself, exclusive to the island, which is really fun. One thing I loved is that there's actually some cliffs here on the island. I kind of think of the Bahamas as mostly flat, but there's actually some elevation changes here. And this leads us all the way out to the Lighthouse Point area of Lookout Cay. And so this was built in the early 1900s, obviously to prevent ships from crashing ashore. And it did its job. It still is operating. You know, they have a light here, but it's obviously not manned like it was back in the day. All these things are pretty much automated. But it's really cool to walk out to this. It's a short walk, I would say maybe half a mile at most. And you can escape over to a very secluded beach that is away from pretty much everyone else on the island with you. I will say that we were able to see the Carnival ship docked at their private island across the way. So this is a popular cruising destination for many other cruise lines. But it is absolutely beautiful. And there's a few paths that you can take walking back. So we chose this one, and it led to a secluded beach that's connected to the rest of the beaches here on the island. But it's just not set up necessarily with bars or any sort of beach chairs or anything like that. So it just is a lot more secluded. It feels like it is your own private beach here. So I definitely recommend making the walk down here. And if that's more your style, you just want to sit on a beautiful Bahamian beach away from everyone else, this is the place to do it. And just down there is the start of all of the Disney-filled beach, Family Beach and Serenity Bay to the north that we'll show you in just a sec. Wreck and Reef Bar is going to be the first of several bars that we're going to show you here on the island. Everyone is pretty much going to have the same menu. They have a few specialty cocktails. They have a few local beers. I was really thrilled with my cocktail that I got, which was a classic painkiller, but they serve them in these aluminum cups that really keep the drinks nice and cold. It gets very hot here, so that is definitely useful. And they have some edible straws to keep things eco-friendly and also delicious. To that bar, you can turn left at the Plate Pavilion and reach the first of 2 main buffet areas, plus the one at Serenity Bay. This is called True True Barbecue, and the other one a little further north is called True True Barbecue 2, and it's really hard to say. I think the whole crew would appreciate maybe a different name for this place. But some shaded seating areas over here to the right, lots of fans to prevent that fly problem from occurring that you might have seen in videos from the first people that visited the island. I experienced none of that on this trip. A nice little area to grab a free drink. Remember that all soft drinks are included in your vacation package on Disney Cruise Lines, as well as the food on the private island. Big lines for the traditional barbecue items like burgers and hot dogs, but almost no line for the really delicious fish that got rave reviews from my wife, as well as this kind of rice and beans paella style chicken dish that I really liked. Lots of vegetables as well. And then they have, ribs and rotisserie chicken. It's all separate lines, so you do have to queue up for what you're looking for individually. Overall quality of the food was great. I loved the plantains, and just overall was a great little note on my day here at Lookout Cay. Now the characters will participate in a Junkanoo parade in the middle of the day, so that's something not to miss. Unfortunately, we did miss it because we were busy playing in the ocean. If you want just a more laid-back activity, they do have beach volleyball here, really cool setup. But the place we spent the most time was the Rush Out, Gush Out splash pad, which is made for all the little kids. There's a small water slide or 2 here as well, but a lot of water going on. They have cool musical instruments that you can bang on, water coming up from the ground, water coming from every single direction. So it's really fun and definitely worth checking out, even if you don't have kids, just to see like how well Disney did here, because I think this is a home run. So this being very popular, this is going to be probably the busiest part of the entire island experience. So if young kids, just prepare for that. Luckily, there is a bar nearby, the Watering Hole Bar, same menu as before. And then they also have the Sensational Smoothies, which are going to be all non-alcoholic drinks, and that has its own separate menu, which is cool. So let's leave the splash pad behind and go check out the start of the show here on the island, which is the beach. So this is the family beach. It's connected to all the other beaches in pretty close proximity. So you do have the cabanas separating the Serenity Bay beach. All equally beautiful, just maybe a little bit less busy the further north you go, especially around those cabanas. The sand was as powdery as I have ever felt anywhere in the world. It is absolutely a home run that Disney was able to build something on this beach. I think this is going to be a highlight of any Disney cruise for many decades to come. There is a snorkel shack where you can also rent infant life vests or life vests for the kiddos that they are required to wear. And then next to that is the Goombay Cultural Center, which hosts a lot of arts and crafts as well as other activities throughout the day. And then the culmination of that Junkanoo parade ends here. So it's a really cool pavilion with a lot of beach seating and standing room. So really a cool spot here to enjoy, and it's very adjacent to the beach, so it's quick to jump over, see all the fun, and then head back to the beach. Now we'll keep heading north and go check out True True Barbecue 2, which I will never say correctly, so just know it's exactly the same as True True Barbecue. It's just a little bit further north. And then there's also the Bow and Ribbon Bar, the third of the all-access bars, because Serenity Bay has its own bar as well that we'll check out in just a sec, but that's just for the adults. Same exact menu as the other location here on the island, and pretty much the same setup for seating as well, so just keep that in mind. This one's a little bit more secluded, I think, than the True True Barbecue, so maybe a little bit less busy, but we didn't make it here during mealtime. And just north of that is going to be the start of the cabanas here on this section of the island. Love all the colorful art on the roofing and the shade structures here, as well as the beautiful palm trees that they've planted. So lots of vegetation being filled in here. I feel like the earlier videos were, of basically the barren landscape here that they hadn't quite landscaped yet, and they've definitely filled in the gaps a lot during our visit. But here are the beautiful cabanas. Love all the bright colors. If you do want a cabana, just know that you're probably going to have to book concierge class or be a very well cruised person. with the Disney Cruise Line because these go incredibly quickly. Next to those is the dog relief area. And then we're going to reach Serenity Bay and its food area. So this is probably the only disappointment for me on the island, and I did arrive a little bit late in the day, but it felt like Serenity Bay compared to the area that Serenity Bay occupies on Castaway Cay just didn't really feel all that special. It just felt like another part of the beach, not really a ton of theming here. I don't think any extra activities. I remember doing some yoga over at Serenity Bay on Castaway Cay on my first Disney cruise. But they do have the Blue Hole Bar. There is a slightly different menu here, which is kind of cool. But they were out of a lot of items, so overall I just felt like it wasn't all that special. But that basically concludes my day here at Lookout Cay. I hope that you enjoyed the tour, and I hope it helps you plan your next Disney Cruise Line vacation. If you are interested in any help planning your next vacation, please reach out to us. We'll put the contact information down in the description. Happy cruising!